Joining us now from Omaha, head women's basketball coach Gary Banks, student athletes Grace Cave and Elena Ilakuta. As normal, we'll do an opening statement from our head coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. We'll dismiss the student athletes, get back to questions for the coach. Please state your name and your organization you're with prior to your questions. Go ahead with your opening statement, Coach.
Yeah, well, first, that was a lot of fun. We knew coming into the game, we really had to control the pace just because of their short roster. We wanted to push the ball as much as we could. We wanted to try to speed them up. I thought the first half, we just looked unlike ourselves. And so at halftime, the challenge was like, we've got to defend with more intensity. We've got to run our offense better. We looked very stagnant. And I was just really, really proud of how our team responded to that in the second half. And I really tribute to that, to all the experiences that we've had this year in close games and in losses and in wins. It's all coming together, and it's been being meaningful for us to be prepared for these types of situations and this type of environment. So, made some really, really big shots. But I think, again, the thing that I'm most proud of is the stops that we were able to get in the half court. And I think that's just so imperative to this time of year, is getting stops in the half court.
Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Me?
Yep.
Madison Van Mulligan with Reaching the Summit. Elena, you battled really hard today, but you did end up in a little bit of foul trouble. Coach left you out there and let it ride. What were you kind of telling yourself to make sure that you didn't get that fifth foul and keep fighting Kansas City?
I mean, I knew my teammates and my coaches had my back. So just being out there and playing defense, I knew there was help behind me, and that I wasn't just on my own out there. So I wasn't really thinking about it. It was just, hey, like, this is the time to do it. I trusted my teammates, my coaches trusted me to stay out there, and it worked out perfectly for us.
Marcus, Elena, 2 years ago, when you guys played in the Summer title game, the COVID season, no fans, all those sorts of things. Tomorrow will be a lot different. What do you take from that experience that you had 2 years ago to roll into the game tomorrow?
I think looking back, I'm just now realizing how close we were to winning the championship, and now we have another chance to do that tomorrow. And obviously, it's going to be packed in here. We play South Dakota State; they're a really good team. We are in South Dakota, so I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere, and we just have to play our game the way we've been doing it so far, and the rest will take care of itself.
Grace, you had 19 points today, leading scorer on your team. What were you seeing on the court, and what were the opportunities that were kind of created for you to be able to score?
We really penetrated the ball like a lot. So I think just creating driving lanes and having those one more kick out passes, moving the ball offensively and just attacking the transition really opened up the floor for myself and my teammates. So just being able to create offensively with the penetration and the kickouts was huge.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Grace, Elena, thank you very much. You can head back to the locker room.
Thank you.
Nice. Switch back. Just because I know it's just stick with this. You're gonna have to tell me again.
Go ahead with questions for Coach. Go ahead.
Jack McGonigal, Mav Radio. Coach, you guys have been in tight ball games all year long, especially in conference play. How does the experiences of the regular season playing tight help you guys in these games down the stretch at the conference tournament?
I think we have figured out ways to win in close ball games. And so I think if you're talking about maybe 2 months ago, these games, are 50-50. There is not a moment where I doubt what our team is capable of in these situations now. And they've just showed up. They've made plays. When I see them in the huddle, they're very poised. They're having positive conversations with each other. Sometimes we'll say, hey, Coach, can we do this instead of this? Okay. If you're saying that, yes, I'm on board with it. So just the growth from that standpoint. And again, I just, very grateful that we've had those situations to kind of learn and grow from. And again, I think it's all coming together at the right time for us.
You're one of the teams that has played South Dakota State relatively close, and they haven't had a lot of close games this year. How can you replicate that tomorrow, knowing the type of challenge you're facing?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with them is we have to take care of the basketball. We have to control the pace of the game, and just defensively, we've got to be solid at every single possession. They're a very talented team. They move the ball exceptionally well. But we've just really got to control the pace. I think sometimes teams, they try to get up and down with them and it doesn't work out too well. But as you know, those first two meetings, they mean very little. You know what I mean? And tomorrow it's just going to come down to, I think, who can execute in the half court, who can get stops.
Coach, everyone knows the story. In 2021, you knocked off South Dakota State and then went on to knock off number 5. This year it was number 3 and number 10, and both games were a battle. What does it mean to you to be back in the championship after missing the tournament last year?
It's a great feeling, and I think the reason it's so great is just the agony that we felt last year, not even being in the tournament, and what that meant and how that felt. And just the rebuilding process mentally, physically, that we had to go through to position ourselves to be here today. I think it was necessary. At the time, it did not feel good. But I think our kids were just highly motivated all season to no, we want to get back here. And once we do get back here, we want to play for a championship. So, it's great to be back, but we got one more and, we're looking for the championship.
Coach Kennedy leads the team in scoring yesterday, but today 5 assists, 5 steals, 6 fouls drawn. What has she done in her impacts this tournament helped you guys?
She's constantly aggressive, constantly attacking, putting people on their heels. And even today, she didn't have a great shooting day, and it was just keep going. And I thought she made some key drives for us late in the game. Obviously got to the free throw line too. I think the foul trouble really limited them a little bit. So for her just to have that maturity to keep fighting. And I think that's just been the message with this whole team is keep fighting. I think, coming into the game, they were disappointed. We're only up 2 points at half, I think 2 or 3 points at half, and it was just keep fighting. We'll get there. We'll get there. So just the poise of this team, the patience of this team, and the overall toughness of this team has just been great to be a part of.